everyone. Welcome to Coffee with the Pastor. I'm Pastor John Woodin, and this is a ministry of Hollywood Faith Christian Center. You'll notice that we have a new backdrop for our program, a new stage, so we just want you to see how you like it. A little bit different, a little more airy, a little more open, a little less formal. In 1 Kings, we're going to continue talking about the fire of God. 1 Kings 18, and then the fire of the Lord fell, this is Elijah, and consumed the burnt sacrifice and the wood and the stones and the dust, and it licked up the water that was in the trench. The fire of God is not limited by natural circumstances, not limited to what burns in the natural, what won't burn in the natural. Because remember, Elijah has water poured all over the sacrifice and in the wood. Now, that's a terrible way to start a fire in the natural, but when God's fire, the holy fire, comes down, you don't have to worry about what's going on in the natural. It will be consumed. Even the dust and the rocks were consumed. Leviticus chapter 9. And Moses and Aaron are performing the sacrifice. It's the establishment of the priesthood in Leviticus. And they said Moses and Aaron went into the tabernacle of meeting and came out and blessed the people. Then the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people, and fire came out from before the Lord and consumed the burnt offering and the fat on the altar. And when all the people saw it, they shouted and fell on their faces. Now that's the end of Leviticus chapter 9. It goes right into Leviticus chapter 10. Here's the saddest thing. It was one of the saddest things in the Bible. Nadab and Abihu are the sons of Aaron. The priesthood passes by inheritance. So it's not something you learn or you practice or you run for office. It's something you get because the sons of Aaron would become the next priests. So Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, would automatically become high priests. But they couldn't wait. And they said, look, you know what? If those two old men can bring down fire from heaven, can you imagine what we're going to do? So they started lighting fires. They took a censer and put fire in it and put incense in it and offered profane fire before the Lord, which he had not commanded them. And so fire went out from the Lord and devoured them. And they died before the Lord, and Moses said to Aaron, you can't cry. Don't even cry. Don't even weep for them. We're going to take their bodies out. That's it. Because that's how much I value the order of things, and that what I ordained fire to come versus when they ordained fire to come. And he says, you can't even cry. And he didn't. And it says, so Aaron held his peace. In Isaiah chapter 6, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple, and above it the seraphim. And Moses, the prophet Isaiah says, I'm a man of unclean lips. I can't possibly prophesy. And God takes a coal from the altars, and it's a red hot coal. So the next time you think you want to be a prophet, think about that. But God takes a coal from the altar and puts it on Isaiah's lips to cleanse his words. And if you remember, the prophet has said, who will go for us? And at that moment, Isaiah says, I'll go, I'll do it. Hideni, here I am, use me. He doesn't even know what God wants. All he knows is that the first 6 books of the book of Isaiah is the typical old Israel prophet. The next 60 books deal with the Messiah, the coming of Messiah. It's amazing. But Isaiah didn't even know what God wanted. He was willing to do it because when you are in revival, when you see the manifest presence of God, you're willing to do whatever it takes to get closer to God and to serve him. Wow. And there's the prophet Isaiah saying, Hineni, here I am, use me. Jeremiah 20, and you are stronger than I, and I have prevailed. I am in derision daily, everyone mocks me. But when I spoke, I cried out, I shouted violence and plunder, because the word of the Lord was made to me a reproach and derision daily. And I said, I will not make mention of him anymore. If you remember, the king says, look, I want a word. And the Jeremiah says, no, I'm not going to do it, because every time I prophesy, you guys arrest me, throw me in jail, throw me in a cistern. It doesn't go good for me. But Jeremiah says this, but his word was in my heart like a burning fire shut up in my bones, and I could not hold it back. I had to prophesy. In Hebrews chapter 1, he says he makes his angel spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. The great John Wesley used to say that I light myself on fire, and people come to watch me burn. God bless you. We'll talk about this more tomorrow on Coffee with